All right, the 25 rescue officially sounded off. It is 7 p.m. Eastern. I'd like to welcome everybody to Channel 14, the Preppers channel. I would also like to welcome you into the PrepNet. I'm going to ask that everybody comes one at a time to register. Let me clear with the last caller, and I will ask for the next caller, and then that will be your time to shine to get registered for the net. If you would like to monitor only tonight, we ask a big favor. Please register and just let us know that you're monitoring, and we will not bother you through the net. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to give a quick list of who I've already got down currently besides myself in Montana Jim. We have Damage in Michigan and Tater Chip in Michigan. They are monitoring only. Donna, I've got you in as well. ResDog, TC, and I have Knife Man monitoring only also. With that, can I get the first caller who would like to register for the net tonight?
You got Sly Eye in Virginia.
Got Kate Dead in Louisiana.
Yeah, I meant to add that I'll just be monitoring.
Copy that, Side A. We got you down monitoring only. Welcome in, JW. We got you down as well. Can I get the next caller that would like to register for the net, please? One more quick call. Do we have anybody out there that would like to register for the net? If so, please go ahead.
Got Hawkeye. I'll be monitoring only, Red Bear.
Hawkeye, you're in Louisiana, correct?
That's correct. Out of Louisiana.
Thank you for joining us, Hawkeye. I've got you down monitoring only. Do we have anybody else that would like to register for the net? If so, please go ahead. Okay, for everybody who did register tonight, I would like to welcome you to the PrepNet. And with that, Montana Jim, if you are ready, sir, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Red Bear, and everybody that's registered. And guess what? We're going to do something different tonight. Instead of continuing with our normal topic, which would have been part 3 of the medical for preppers, we're going to do an exercise. Now, for over a year, we've been pushing information out there on all aspects of prep, from planning to testing the plan and other more detailed information. So I'm going to use a technique that I've used in training my firefighters to get them to think ahead of time of what they would do. We call this a tabletop sandbox. I found it to be very successful. So let's just give it a try. We will simulate a situation and see how you would react. There will be no wrong answers. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to get you thinking and learn from others. We've all found out during our roundtables that everybody has a piece of information that is useful to somebody else. Now, you do need to do a little bit of play acting, as what I describe for this scenario will not exactly fit your situation, but you get the idea. So play along, have fun. This is how it will work. I'll give a scenario. I'll ask a question about what you would do, and then we'll go around table to see your response. We'll do multiple rounds with different questions. We're all going to learn something. So, are there any questions about the process? I'll break and wait for anything. Okay, here we go. Here's tonight's scenario. There is a town with a population of 10,000, 25 miles from you. You've been watching the news for the past 3 days, and there has been civil unrest, rioting, and property damage in that town and others due to store shelves being empty because of supply chain problems. The latest reports are that roving bands of people have started to spread out of that city and are headed in your direction. You estimate these roving bands could be near your location within 24 to 36 hours. That's the scenario. Break. Okay, for this part, Red Bear is just going to be another registered guest. So I'm going to go down the list of check-ins and see if you have any questions about the scenario I just gave. Now, if there are any questions about the scenario, I'm not going to answer them one by one. I'm going to wait until we're through there. So with that, I'm going to turn around and go down this list real quick. Red Bear, any questions on the scenario?
No, sir.
Okay, Red Dog, how about, or not Red Dog, how about you?
Negative.
Copy that. Donna in Montana, any questions?
No questions, but the radio is kind of cutting in and out, so I beg your pardon if I don't hear everything and have to ask you to repeat.
No problem. TC, any questions on the scenario?
So I caught all the town and the population and what's happening and stuff, okay, but is this going to be just asking me how I'm going to react to this, or is there a certain thing that I need to achieve?
No, you don't need to achieve anything. And by the way, TC was the last one that was not monitoring only. No, you don't have to achieve anything. This is just, I'll ask a question, and, about this scenario, and just give your answer. That's it.
Break.
Copy that. Okay. No more questions. Go ahead, Break.
Jim, just to let you know, we do have JW also who is not monitoring.
Did I miss him? Hold on. Let me... Oh, yeah, I have him down one more. Sorry, JW. I had a space there. I'm putting this stuff in a spreadsheet. Did you have any questions on the scenario? Sorry.
Yes, sir. One little small question. Is there any limit to the number of people I might have in my compound or my employer?
No, this is your situation. As we've gone over many times, everybody's preparation is different. I only have 3 people at my direct location. I have extended family further away, but the situation is different. You might have a larger group of people. So no, it would be based on your particular situation, as close to what the scenario was that I described. Anything else? Okay, that's good. Okay, since this is the first time we're doing this, and actually only have 5 people, that's actually kind of good. Okay, everybody knows what the situation is, or the scenario. Here's the first question. If you heard the reports as I outlined in the scenario, tell us in general terms what you would do. So I'm going to turn around and do a round table and find out what the answers might be there. Red Bear, let's start with you.
Thank you very much. First off, Jim, I'm kind of excited about this. Well, it means that I just got news of this a few seconds ago watching the local news. I'm going to start packing the 4 people, including myself here, 4 people all together, and we're going to get our dogs and any gear that we can possibly fit in our car as well, and we're going to head out of town. We actually have a more secure location that some of the family is already at. So once we get there, we will do a head count, and hopefully other family will be going that way as well. So, and at that point, I would probably come back into town quick to gather any more supplies that I was unable to get on the first run. With that, back to net control.
Okay, copy that. Copy that. I got it marked down as good as my fingers do it. Res Dog, what would you generally do?
Okay, Montana Jim, let's see. Well, given the scenario, the city is 25 miles away, so it's a rural area. So what I would do is strengthen numbers. I'd get my neighbors, pull resources, and then I'd secure my location. I guess internet is still on, so cameras, down roads, so we know when they're coming. But the big thing is strength in numbers, and the city folks don't know the country the country roads and stuff like that well. So generally, it'll be a little, probably if it's 25 miles out, it's going to be a little farming community. So I just have to pull resources and kind of secure that area. That's the only thing you could do that I'm thinking of, given the scenario. But let me ponder on some of the other answers here. But that's what I would do. I would gather up my local community, strengthen numbers. We know the area better than the city folk. I definitely have surveillance, so I know when they're coming around my, game cams, cell phone game cams, that kind of stuff, and just hunker down and then at that point get with the neighbors to gather resources to all pull together, strengthen numbers.
Okay, Res Dog, copy that. Sounds good. Well, let's go on to Donna. And to you there in Montana, what's generally the thing you're going to do?
Well, first of all, we would, I believe we would batten down our hatches and try to secure our homes and property as best we could. And I think maybe put out a call to our out-of-town family to see if they could get here to help us. And like Res Dog said, strengthen numbers. I think that having other family members here, if they can be, would be a good thing. And very possibly the neighbors that we are friendly with, and see if we could all, keep an eye out for each other. But I think hunkering down in our homes is what we're going to do, and keep an eye out.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Check the thing here. I gotta scroll this thing here. Me typing and using the mouse and all sorts. And see, I even let go of the thingy. Okay, TC, what are you gonna do?
First of all, I'd like to say I'm very glad we're doing this. I'm excited for this. I'm glad you kind of reflected off my idea, because this is very interactive. I'm liking this so far. But I just thought of a question. You say this town is 25 miles from me. That's getting the riots and the events and stuff. Am I living, what type of area am I living in? Am I living in a city or town that's near this city? Am I living in the middle of nowhere? Am I living in a suburb? Where is my area?
I don't know, TC. Where do you live?
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, 25 miles away from a town that's got 10,000 people and they got riots going on. That's the scenario. Okay, TC, you ready to to answer the question? After hearing all that, what would you, in general terms, what would you do?
I thought I was talking. Can you hear me now?
Sorry, just joining. Matt in Tennessee.
Yeah, TC, go ahead.
Okay, Matt from Tennessee just signed in case you didn't hear, but I heard him on. So what I would do, I'd start by letting my family know in this household, which is 4 people, including me. Then I'd let neighbors know. So I'd get all my food together, maybe can as much as I can, because, for example, my power supply may be connected to that city, which you never know if the city power supply goes out for any reason regarding those riots. Get all my food, water together, and if that'd be the closest location for fuel, I wouldn't necessarily go there because I don't want to go there because there's bad things going on over there. So with the fuel that I have left, I'd make all those trips while I can, if possible, if I have the extra time later to get stuff I still need. Get people over here and have guns ready. Like, I know some people don't want to hear this, and you should not go out killing people. But if somebody's going to come to your house wanting to kill you, you need to learn how to defend yourself. And yeah. Let me think. What else? Make sure everybody's okay. So, like, people you thinking you can build a trust with and work with. And I don't really have too much to add on to that. Just have a vehicle ready with gas and working condition if evacuation is needed. I wouldn't really want to leave because I I I got all my stuff in one spot, which is kind of bad thinking about it. But just keep everything together, and nothing else to add on to that.
Okay. Y'all don't have to have the complete answer because we got other questions. Okay, good deal. Okay, JW, what would you do?
Okay, I would have a little bit bigger group together in my my group of people, and I have some law enforcement people involved with my group. So we would immediately develop a plan as far as making a list of everybody's job responsibilities, and we would watch our compound and keep an eye on everything 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I would also set up some tripwires at some strategic locations to make sure that we got alerted of any incoming people. And I would also make sure that at nighttime, when we were at night, we would try to be out of sight, out of mind, no lights whatsoever to the outside world. You got to stay dark at night to where nobody knows you're there. You're better off not confronting anybody or not having to deal with people. That's your best way to survive, is not to come in contact with any outside world. And then I would probably make, like TC said, I would make sure that everybody was capable of handling a firearm, and that everybody had the mindset to know what to do with that firearm if the situation arises. Like TC said, we don't want to kill people, but you don't want to be killed either. So there's that. But yeah, there's a lot of things to put in place when you hear something like that. If you do ever hear it, and then you got to make sure your communication is very tight. Make sure that if there's anybody coming to your location, like other family members or other people that's going to try to join your group, you need to let them know how to contact you and let them know that they're friendly coming in, not enemy. And I could go on and on, but I know we got to continue on with some more questions, so I'm just going to leave it like that.
Okay, JW. Nope. Good responses. And that's the whole point of this, is to get people thinking. You might say something that somebody hadn't thought of, and that's the whole thing. And I think we're down to Matt. So Matt, did you hear what the scenario was? First off.
No, I did not, but I could probably go along with it. Unless you give me a quick rundown.
Yeah, I'll just read it. It's pretty short. There is a town with a population of 10,000, 25 miles from you. You've been watching the TV news for the past 3 days, and there's been civil unrest, rioting, and property damage in that town and others due to store shelves being empty because of a supply chain problem. The latest reports are that roving bands of people have started to spread out from that city and are headed in your direction. You estimate that these roving bands could be near your location in 24 to 36 hours. So the question is, in general terms, what would you do?
I copy that. I appreciate it. One thing about being a prepper is prepping. You should not be worried about a day or 2 or 7 days of what happened. You should be ready for a month or 2 or 6 months. For me, we're set up. We got 6 months of pretty much gasoline, food, water, supplies, guns, ammunition, whatever have you. Like TC said in JW, obviously firearms, be practical about it. Make sure everybody's trained and ready. I got generators with the gasoline standby, got stable for the gasoline. Make sure it's good for over a year or more. Yeah, we got food for over a month for the whole family. We got gasoline. And it comes down to power for the house. We got power for the house for about a week. For me, I go for by a week span. So they say 3 days, blah blah blah. We bug in for 7+ days. So we're ready. We have everything we need. Communication is key. I agree. I mean, key. So your radios are key. Analog side, UHF, VHF. It might be PRS, it might be LoRa. I don't care. It might be Meshtastic for all you need. Anyways, make sure you have power, food, water, and like toilet paper, basic stuff. Make sure you have food, water, toilet paper. We have cases of water. We got ReadyWise food, and you can get Patriot food, whatever. Solar generators, I'm probably gonna get some here soon in the future, Jack Reeves, but I got a Duramax 13,000 watt Yankee and a 3,500 watt Champion backup. The gasoline one doesn't run off propane or gas, but yeah, generator, power, food, water, and medical supplies. Make sure you have medical supplies. We got a bunch of that. My mom lives here now after my stepdad passed, so you gotta make sure you have medical supplies good for 3 months. I look at it as a week or more. Don't look at it as 3 days. And if you want to do tripwires and all that, you can all do that. But if you're set up as you are, as you should be good with what you got, per se. I mean, keep. But yeah, we're set up around here. We literally have gas masks, helmets, vests, bulletproof vests. We got firearms in case of need be. We got cameras everywhere. And I just do what you gotta do. And your neighbor, if he seems like a good guy, he might not be a good guy when stuff hits the fan. So just protect you and your family, your immediate family, and communication to the family that's not inside your house. All right, that's it. Back to net control.
Break. Okay, JW, good deal. Okay, I'm not going to address each individual's responses. I did put a couple of just quick points together for this one thing. Now, whichever you pick, bug in or bug out, make sure you practice what your plan is. This lets you verify if your plan work or if there things need to be changed. And I can tell you from experience, and probably a couple of us out here, that what you think is going to work isn't going to work for whatever reason. And I don't know, you had delusion grandeur, who knows? But yeah. And it's interesting. I was expecting more people wanting to bug out, which is not a problem, because anybody that's listened to me, that is exactly what I'm doing. I am bugging in. And again, by practicing, you may end up changing your mind. You may decide I'm going to bug in, and then you actually go through, practice your stuff, and then find out, maybe it would be better to bug out. So with that, let's go ahead and hit the second question. Let me break.
Break.
Go ahead, break.
Will you guys take a late check-in?
Sure, go ahead.
My name is Ben, and I'm in Mississippi.
Did you happen to hear the beginning of what the scenario is? We're sort of doing an exercise just so everybody can say what they would do in certain situations.
I did. I had my radio on. I just couldn't. For some reason, it wasn't letting me key up. I've tried to break in several times. I would just turn my lights off. We have all the preparations that we need on day one of the news breaking, because I'm assuming this is going to turn into a national event, not just a localized event. If it's a localized event, I'm not worried about it. But if it's something that's spreading, then I'm going to reach out to the people that plan on coming here. If something happens, let them know to prepare to come by day 2. I'm going to mobilize everybody, and we're going to shut the lights off and secure the perimeter. We already have. It's too late to go to town and get supplies by the time you're there. It's too late. Everybody's already bought all the toilet paper. When COVID hit, we didn't have to go to a store for anything.
Yeah, copy that. Totally, completely. And we're doing a series on security. And it's going to be a long one. And sort of what a couple have already talked about is part of that. There's like 6 layers you need to when you build your security thing. One of them is lights. There's firearms. There's detection systems, deterrence, etc. So when we get into that, I think everybody will be interested. Okay, so then you're definitely you're to bug in. Okay, got you down. So if everybody's ready, let's go start with the second question. Okay, now you may have already provided some of this information in the first one. If so, just state that or provide additional information. Okay, here's the question, and this is sort of a two-parter. For those bugging out, what would you take with you? And for those bugging in, what are the priority things you would do first? Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to the top of the list there. And Red Bear, what's your answer to that? What you taking with you?
Thanks again, Jim. I really appreciate this, really enjoying it. I kind of would call myself more bugging in. We have a central family member's house that everybody is reporting to. We already do have some stores there. And I obviously, as I said before, I would be making at least one more trip after the first trip out, coming to get more supplies from my house. So what I would be taking, I started with the 4 people in the house, the dogs, and anything else I could fit in. I would be grabbing my generator that I've got here. I've got a 100-pound propane cylinder stored that I would grab as well. I would probably try to grab any guns and any ammunition at that point. This is the first trip with the family. And at that point, if we had any room left, I would start looking at food supplies we may have in the house. We do have a bug out bag that is full of medical supplies, a couple days worth of clothing for everybody, things like that. That would definitely go in the car on the first trip. The second trip would be anything we may have forgotten and anything else that we feel that we need. So hopefully I don't have to make a whole lot of trips, because 24 to 36 hours is not a good time, but not a whole lot of time to be playing around trying to make loads, but that would be my plan right there. Is I would try to get as much as I possibly could over to the family's house, and then we would hunker down there. So with that, we'll throw it back to net control.
Okay, good deal. And I'm making the assumption, even though you were saying bugging out, the location you're going to is relatively close. Would that be correct?
That is correct. I'm within about a 5-mile proximity of the place that I would be going to.
Okay, copy that. Okay, on to Resdog. You're not taking with you, so it would be the second one. So what would be your priority, the first things you're going to do after knowing that there is a potential problem heading your way?
Yeah, okay. Well, the first priority is always your family first. So secure the family, and then I would reach out to the neighbors there. And being a rural area, most people are on well water, so you got well water, and then most people in the backcountry, they get bad weather and the power's always out. So generally, everyone has generators and gas and stuff like that on hand anyhow for tornadoes. Or I know here in Oklahoma, we get tornadoes and lights go out. And so I keep gas and generator and, of course, all that stuff going. And then everyone raises livestock, so don't really have to worry about food. Don't really have to worry about water. It's basically just your family first, secure it, and then strengthen numbers, getting with the neighbors, and I would definitely want to know, give enough time warning when they're coming. So, like I said, I would do some kind of surveillance and stuff on the roads where I know where they'd be coming in at. like I said, usually the backcountry people, they know the roads better than the city people. So you were saying they're coming from the city 25 miles away, so they may or may not be familiar with the woods. Most time they're not. Um, and I'm assuming that since you said it was outside the city, you're talking about a rural area, which would put in my situation a rural area. And so that's what I would do. You know, of course, everyone has their bug out bag, everyone has their generator, their gas, extra water on hand. Anyhow, so it's a matter of securing your place, reaching out to neighbors. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that I would do there, Montana Jim.
I went away. I guess my fingers slipped off. Yeah, nope. That sounds good. And no, everybody should not assume just because I'm saying it's a 10,000 people city that you're not in a city, maybe or town. Maybe you're in a town of a couple of thousand people. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're rural. It just so happens that almost all of us that are on this right now are rural. Okay, let's go to Donna in Montana. Since you're going to bug in, what's your priorities when you first hear about this?
I think that our priority would be coming up with a security plan, trying to figure out how we are going to keep an eye on our surrounding property, and then maybe try to figure out if we want to meld our two houses into one, because we have two houses right next to each other. Would trying to protect one be better than two, or would it make a difference since we're so close? So that would be trying to figure out that plan.
Okay. Sounds good. Again, something to think about. Nobody else has mentioned except maybe JW. He has it's going to be more of a compound thing, to where you do have to take that into consideration. Part of your security is what do you have to secure, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I'm going to say the security thing that I'm working on now, I thought was going to be a couple of parts. It's not. And very eye-opening. So anyway, okay, with that, let's turn around and go to TC. TC, since you're staying there, what's the first things, the priority, if you find out something may happen coming this way, what am I going to concentrate on?
Well, I'd start by getting people together, immediate family, trustworthy neighbors and friends. I hear some people stronger in numbers. Okay, I'm gonna give my personal piece of advice. Even if I wouldn't want it too big, which I don't want to kick anybody out, but keep it smaller in my opinion. 5 to 10, no more than 15 people, because bigger chance of just something going wrong in a vocal way. Like just somehow somebody slipped word to a random friend that, yeah, there's a tripwire there. It'd be funny if somebody stepped in, and then they get it all over them. Something like that. Not necessarily that, but you know what I'm saying. So, big but not very big. A group of people. And then I'm thinking generators. I hear pretty common to get generators priority. I would not prioritize generators or solar panels, which they'll be good, especially for communication, because literally, like everybody else said, I don't want my lights on. That's going to be obvious one key. And so I need food to survive. I need water to survive. I need oxygen to survive. I do not need a generator to survive. If I have everything else checked off my list, my food pantry stocked, one of those counter propane stoves and a few propane tanks checked, water checked, wells, all of my people, and if I have the opportunity and the extra time, it comes down to generators or solar panels, because you need to charge your communication devices some way. Which if you're doing something small, the solar panel would be better, I guess. But I don't find break one more time. I don't find the generator too necessary in my opinion, because I don't need to run my whole house. That's just my scenario. And one more thing, if you're trying to, like, I'm midway through something and actually I'm sure you understand. I'll save that for the next couple ones. I think they'll fit in better in the future one. But yeah, that's what I would prioritize.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, JW. This happens. You know, what's your priority on getting prepared for this? You know, stuff maybe you haven't already said.
Okay, yeah. For one thing, you know, I live in a pretty big area. I have, you know, like 50 acres of land, you know, and we live kind of in the center of it. So I would make sure that I had the people staged out in strategic locations, at least a mile from my home, to know, and they'd had communication to report back what they see coming or what's coming down the road, whatever. And you got to think about how a bad guy thinks. You got to think about what people that are desperate are going to do. You don't think about what another prepper's going to do, because another prepper is just trying to survive wherever they're at. And so you got to think about people that are desperate, that'll do anything to get something to eat or to get something to drink or whatever. And you also have to remember that you need to stay, especially at nighttime, you need to stay completely dark, like you don't exist. That's the best way to survive, for one thing. And then you think about the bad guys that are coming. They're not going to come at night, I don't think, because they're going to be trying to just lay around and relax at night. They're going to come in the daylight when they can see what they're wanting to do. And if you got any vehicles and stuff around your location, I think it would be prudent to, you know, like leave some car doors open and throw some food on the ground or canned goods or whatever, and just put a note on the window said, "We had to leave real quick. Some bandits come by and took all our stuff. Hope y'all are okay." And then you can do the same during the day at your house, you know, because the bad guys may have binoculars. They may be sophisticated more than we think. You leave your front door open on your house during the daytime, and just throw some canned goods on the ground, and just kind of, you try to make it look like you've already been ransacked. Some crew has already been through your location during the day, that is. At night is when you got to really keep close eye, because and then you got to make sure that you have the right people staged at the right locations. You got to have the right person, the right mindset that you know is going to do the right thing, protect you and yours. You know what you'll do, but you don't know what that next guy next to you is going to do. So you got to kind of try to get in his head and figure out, is he really one of us? Is he really going to do what needs to be done? And you know, it's hard to talk about these kind of things, but it's reality. You know, this is a bad, wicked world. And when things go south quick, you've got to think about also, who did I tell what all kind of supplies I had? Did I tell everybody in the neighborhood what all I had and what all I didn't have? The best thing to do is not to tell anybody what you got, because the less people that knows what you have, the less people are going to come knocking on your door weeks or months down the road wanting some of that. And I can keep going, but I know we got to keep going with our scenario, and I'm enjoying this immensely. Thank you.
Comment.
Go ahead, River.
JW, I think you got a very, very, very big, strong point there. I've heard a lot of people in the past brag, for example, oh, shoot, I've got 12 AKs lined up and I've got 14 ARs lined up as well. Oh, we won't even talk about the other guns. You want to know how much ammo I've got too? I mean, these people enjoy bragging about it. And that's scary. You're just advertising. I mean, you think you're scaring people away by saying, I've got all these guns, I've got all these ammo, but you're putting a target on your back. If I can sneak in quietly and start collecting guns and ammo without you noticing, before you know it, you're out of guns, you're out of ammo, and if you do catch me, well, guess what? I'm taking your guns and ammo. Good luck. So that's something to think about. Thank you very much, Jim. Back to you, sir.
Okay, Redberry, yeah, good comments. Yeah, invisibility. The first part, the first layer is operational security, OPSEC, and it's becoming invisible. And that invisibility is not just what JW talked about, light at nighttime, you know, and it's other things. You know, don't post things. Don't have stickers on your cars. There's a whole thing. Like I said, I think this security thing, people are gonna be pretty interested in it, and it does get into subjects we don't want to talk about, but we've got to. And yes, you do have to assume that everybody's out to get you. I hate to say that. Well, let's go see what Matt has to say. Matt, you're staying there. What's your priorities for getting prepared?
All right. Yeah, I'll be transparent. I'm not going to say anything that I do have or don't have per se. Each vehicle has, you have a day bag, you have a bug out bag, and you have your bug in house, right? So in my vehicles, we have day bags, we have like bug out bags, right? Per se, day bag for a day trip, or you get, lost for, 3 days, whatever have you. Water, food, shelter, food, it even could be like enclosures and all that. We have also stuff for the go bags, that's more comprehensive, more medical supplies, obviously maybe a couple firearms or whatever have you. I plan to bug in, but you also have to plan each day. Each day is a day, right? So you and your family go out to a trip, you gotta have a day bag. You gotta have a bug out bag, and you have a bug in bag or bug in house. And for me, Keith, I'm not gonna really say what I have. I make a good point right there. But at least for the vehicles, they're ready for a day trip and ready in a moment's notice for a 3-4 day trip with water, food, medicine, all that. Now, when it comes down to bugging in, yes, we have the house. Everything's locked up, good to go. We have food, water, a shelter. We got radios. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, with the neighbors and stuff like that. Yeah, if you're cool with your neighbors, cool. But you never underestimate anybody. Let me keep. And all because your neighbors or your close friends, if they know you have a good food supply storage or ammunition storage or firearms, yeah, they might come after you. So security is good key. We have cameras. We have generators. I mean, I know that's not really priority to maybe TC some people, but we have we're set up. Cameras, generators, food supply, water, medical supply. I mean, we're set. I mean, if it really goes and hits the fan, if we got to go, we have go bags, and we have go bags for 3 days. We have day bags. We have go bags, and that's medical supplies, food, water, shelter. Maybe have a knife, fire starters, stuff like that, basic stuff. But yeah, we're pretty much ready to go. And no matter what happens, we're pretty much set up. Back connected. So.
Okay, man. Deal. Good deal. Good info. Things for other people to think about. And I got to keep going back to it. This is a security thing topic we're going to be doing is covering a lot about what people have said. And some of the other things we have probably already covered a good portion of that in our, the amount of, like I said, we've been doing this more than a year. So there are a lot of videos on that YouTube site that can actually, and we start out with talking to your neighbors or don't, planning, all the way up to, what kinds of food you should have, everything. So I would encourage anybody who's not gone to our YouTube channel to do that. So let's hit the last one on the list there. What would be your priority of getting prepared for this?
My priority would be to be as small and quiet as possible. Where I live particularly, you really have to go out of your way to find us. So unless my neighbors drew a whole lot of attention, I'd probably start networking and communicating with my neighbors. You know, turn off your exterior lights, turn off any lights that can be seen from outside of your house. Um, you know, most of the people around me are country people. They're hunters and they understand, you know, how to protect themselves. So I would just lay low and ride it out. And if there was a utility outage, I would use my generator very sparingly, only for necessary things. But my house is kind of set up for that scenario. We changed all of our electric, hot water and stove and stuff to gas. So we would start paying attention to utilities and do we need to start cooking all the meat or start preparing the meat to be dehydrated or turned into jerky, stuff like that.
Net control, permission to comment.
Yeah, go ahead, TC.
I apologize. I didn't know if he was breaking or finishing. I'm sorry if I stepped on you. Go ahead and finish if you didn't before I make that comment.
No, that's all I had.
Okay, sorry about that. I didn't think of it. But I heard a lot of people talk about the generators, some prioritizing it, some putting it on the lower level. But think about how loud it's going to be too if you want to keep attention not drawn toward you. Limit that generator use. Like you can't be using one of those Generacs. No matter how quiet it is, it's going to have some kind of noise that run your house 24/7 because that's going to use all your gas and it's going to be loud. Even if it's a quieter one, it's still going to have some kind of noise. So that's something I think about with the generators.
Well, they also have the inverter generators like the Jackeries that are solar powered that make no noise. Just keep that in mind there, TC.
Okay, copy that. Yeah, like I said, I'm country folk. I don't know about no sound generators. So that's cool, I guess.
Comment?
Go ahead, Resdog.
Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind is that, and I know most of our scenario out here, because Montana Jim said it, we're rural out here. So, I mean, if utilities are out, you got no water. So you need a generator to pump your well unless you got a windmill. There's always that backup. But, yeah, and the food that you have in your, in your house, that's going to sustain you has to stay frozen or it's going to rot. So generators are power is water, air, and that type of stuff. Food are kind of essential in today's world. And then you need everything to power up all your communications and stuff like that. And I do have I have two of those 600 watt battery generators, and they work really good. I use them for my radios, and I've got a 300 watt too. But see, the generators can charge those during the day, and then at night for quietness, you can use the battery generators and stuff like that. But there are some things where you have to have power. If you're in the rural, you got to get water out of your well. And unless you got a hand dug well 10 feet, you dip a bucket down there, you're going to need power to get it out.
Well, I think that what people aren't taking into account are, people are still going to be driving around. There's still going to be ambient noise. People are going to be out in the yard working. The crowd itself will be loud. Until the utilities are out and the power is gone, I don't think you have to worry about noise. Because if you have to worry about your generator giving you away, then the smell of cooking food, the visual of a grill or a flame, embers going up in the air. There's a lot of things that can give your position away.
Yeah, I just think if you're like a war scenario, if you light a cigarette or whatever, it's gonna give you away. Think of it being like a ship or like a submarine. You got to keep everything quiet and be quiet. No embers, no nothing. Some of them generators though, TC like them with Jackeries and different ones off of that solar power. They make like no noise. That's another factor because power is important. Like a well or for like water, or like maybe a light, in the house. Some of them like generators, solar power generators they're pretty sweet.
Copy that. Understood. Understood. Back to net control. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, copy that. Back to net control.
Okay, a lot of good points. A lot of good points. And I'm just going to go through my points on that particular question. Although most are not bugging out, and Red Bear's not going very far, so he has opportunity to make multiple trips. But when you bug out, you can't take everything with you. If you do need to bug out, and it sounds like Red Bear's got this covered, the location should be already stocked, and it sounds like it is. So if you're not bugging out to a non-stock location, I'm going to go up into the mountains or whatever, your stay there is going to be very limited, and it's not going to be fun, no matter how much you like camping, I can tell you. Let me break. Also bugging out, water weighs 8 pounds a gallon, so you can't take very much with you. And that's where water filters, the little water straws and such, and the disinfectant generators are a must. But remember that water filters do not disinfect water. They only filter it. So a disinfectant generator like the H2Go is a must-to-have. They're not that expensive. They're super easy to use, etc. On the bug-in priorities, check your water, food, medical, security, which everybody is actually covered. Time permitting, you could check more of your preps, more of your security, etc. Now, bugging in does allow you to have hundreds of gallons of water storage. So that is one big thing about staying in. Because remember, after 3 days of no water, you're starting to get into very big trouble. And let me break real quick. And we're talking about wells, generators, etc. How are you going to get the water from them? And yes, you can get the water. My wells are 100 and 125 feet deep. They require 220 AC to run. My solar system has a split phase 220 AC capability. So you can do that by battery powered. And everybody's talked about this off and on, but the thing about light, that's called light discipline. There is sound discipline. It is unbelievable how far sound will travel, especially at night. There is smell discipline. This was brought up about people can smell you cooking. They can smell you if you got a fire, etc. So there's a lot of things on the security topic that sort of cover what you can do to try and mitigate that. And one quickie. And in this area, if you had time, you're bugging in. JW had talked about, the vehicle. I actually like the idea of that deceptive thing, making it look like you're gone. But you could also take vehicles, block driveways and such, if you had more of a restricted access to your property. So with that, let me check the time here. I'm going to leave it up to everybody. We're at the top of the hour. Do we want to go to question 3, or do we want to close this out? I'll just open it up to the group.
Yeah, go ahead. Next question. I'm down.
I have time.
Come on, man. You're making this sound like a zombie apocalypse. Can't leave it at a cliffhanger. One more question.
Jim, I'm going to go ahead and back out of here since we're getting to the top of the hour, if that's all right, sir. I've got a very early morning tomorrow and a few things that I got to handle before I can call it a night.
Yeah, Jim, I'm not sure about your next question, what it'll be to the group, but I think a lot has to do with the type of emergency situation. If it's a national situation like an EMP, or they took out an infrastructure, or, there's all kind of different scenarios. But all that has a lot to do with how we're going to react to them.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And I didn't know this was going to go this way. I actually had 5 questions set up. But we're going to do this again. So we can actually continue this. I can rework it So these other questions get asked, and I did want to do other scenarios, sort of cover what you're talking about, JW. Is, again, this is all to get people thinking and getting that information out there for everybody too. So with that, then yeah, since we've been here this long, so I guess TC, we are going to have a cliffhanger, and you're never going to know when I'm going to do this. I'm not going to announce it, and it'll be announced literally when the net starts. So I hope everybody sort of enjoyed this. I think it was kind of fun. It's kind of a pain in the neck for me to have to try and write all this stuff down as we're going along. But anyway, so with that, I'll throw the floor open if anybody has any other comments.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Montana Jim and Red Bear and JW and everybody out there, TC. I appreciate it. I'll be on the side.